Now, another thing that I'd like to show you in this stage view, and I'm going to click save because you should be saving often. In the stage view, you have the ability to add platformer features. Now, a platformer game is kind of like a Mario Brothers game where you're looking at the character from the side. You have the ability to make your character jump and move left and right, but it's not three dimensional. You also have a top down ability to make a top down game, kind of like very, very old school Zelda games, where you're looking from the sky down at the top of your character's head as they walk around and move past trees and bushes and castle walls and things like that. So to get to those features, and it's actually pretty cool some of the things you could do in here, if you click on the plus button here, you have the ability to add in a few different possibilities. In this case, I'm going to add platformer as well as top down. It looks like it only wants me to enable one at this point. Okay, so I'm going to hit X because I like my platformer abilities. And now you can see up at the top here, I've got my platformer section right here. So now the platformer section, if I click on tiles, I can go down to a section where I can build these little pieces of floor. Now it looks like this is top down, so I'm going to go to platformer here. I'll click on tiles. So you can see that now I can make pieces of flooring. It's laid out this kind of grid going across my level, so I can kind of make a level out of these pieces of floor. And if you hit the zoom out button here, zoom out, minus, 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 I have an extremely large area of level that I can use here to make a variety of different types of beams and areas for my character to move over and jump on. I have the ability up here to add in some backgrounds to my platformer game. That kind of clashes a little bit, so I'll go with something a little bit darker. I have the ability to scroll down and add some characters that have some pre-programmed code. Remember, I'd like you coding your character, so you can take a look and learn from some of these codes. But if you know, it's quite obvious when you don't understand how to use some of these pre-built codes. So you want to make sure that you delete the good guy and the bad guy codes and add in your own. And as you can see, we have some coins and hearts and stars, that act as kind of like little rewards and things you have to collect through your level. And of course, you would want to add in a character as an ending point to move to your next level. So I just wanted to kind of show this possibility to you guys. These tiles are really neat, kind of abilities for you guys to add in different pieces that could make your game a little bit more complex. So something to explore, something to check out, but I'll let you guys check that out as you start to develop and think about some of the different ideas of what you'd like to make in your final project. The one thing that I would like to warn you of, and I'll be able to show you once I save in the code view, once you've added in these beams and these platformer features, the one problem that comes up, if I go into my code view and I go to my stage, you will see that it has added in a piece of code. In this case, it hasn't, but in most cases, it adds in a piece of code that says on start physics. And basically what the physics tab is it's like force and motion and gravity. And if you start physics, in this case, you could see your character kind of bumps up and down a little bit when we start, the character is now being pulled to the ground. So if you don't have something underneath your character here, or if you choose to add an actor and draw in a title, so for instance, if I were to click the T here, the text in my drawing tool, and I were to type in, this is the title. It's not typing for me today. Maybe if I underline it. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I'm going to hit save. Sometimes Tynker glitches out a little bit, so I'm going to hit save and refresh on my keyboard to refresh this screen. And a lot of times once you refresh, your Tynker.com dashboard will start working a little bit better. So now in this case, if I go back to my stage, or if I go to this actor that I've added and delete it, and then add a new drawing. Now if I try to type, now it works. Amazing. So in this case, what I'll do is I'll call this my creations title. Now you'll notice that you see the cursor still at the end here. If you'd like it to save, you have to click off to someplace else. So that way it is sure that you want those words and those you know, the text where it belongs there. I'll hit save. So now in this case, you will see if I go back to my creation, I now have actor 2, which is my title. If I hit play, now my title is being pulled to the ground. So if I put my title right up here and I hit play, it's going to fall to earth and bounce off some place that I may never find again. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your characters, if you want them to stick in place, one of the things you will say to this title screen is on start, and then we'll go to the physics tab, and we're going to tell this to have static. The word static, if it has true static, it means that this actor is now going to stick in place, almost like a balloon being statically charged to the wall. So in this case here, it is stuck where it's at. Now this other tool here called active means that these letters are actually hard and you can bump into them. So if it has true active, it means that my character will bump his head on here and not be able to go through it. But if I set active to false, now my character will just be able to jump right through these letters like they're not there. So just a little tip, just something to check out. As you can see, now my main character will fall to the floor if he's not on the ground, and my words are stuck in place. Static and active. Okay, guys, I hope this helped. You have lots and lots to learn to continue on and progress with your final project, but a couple little tips here to get you started. Talk to you soon.